Kochie's Business Builders is proudly brought to you by our partners Dell and Qantas, who are helping small businesses grow.
Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, Finder's co-founder Fred Schebesta joins me as co-host. We get the lowdown on NFTs, plus it's fashion forward for the mother and daughter designers at MTTC Australia. G'day and welcome to another episode of Kochie's Business Builders, where we take a look at the issues facing small business owners and come up with practical advice and tips to help them succeed. Joining me today as co-host is Fred Schebesta. Fred is the co-founder of Global Fintech Finder, a best-selling author and a crypto expert. He's been on the AFR's Young Rich list multiple times, and he's one of Australia's most successful entrepreneurs. Fred, good to have you aboard.
Thanks very much.
Finder is enormous. The comparative website, you're taking it overseas. It's been an amazing success story. How tough was it to build it? And is there a moment that you thought, yep, we're onto something?
Yeah, great question. And thank you also for acknowledging that the challenge in the start. You know, I built a lot of websites and they failed. I built a Sudoku site, I built a poker site, I built a Mother's Day present site and they failed. And I started comparing credit cards with this tiny little website called Credit Card Finder. And the moment when I realized that it was something, I was in my house and every morning, I had a little one-bedroom apartment and I would code on this little computer, and every single thing I did, a little bit more traffic came and a little bit more revenue came and a little bit extra, and every moment I spent doing it was making the business grow. And I knew that was the moment that I've got something.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on one of our case study businesses. MTTC Australia is a mum and daughter team that creates designer garments using vintage products. How do you build niche customers?
When you've got a very defined customer, right? So there's only a certain segment of them, but that's actually quite good because you know who they are and you know what kind of things they like. So I think in this case, some sort of community or some sort of post or some sort of Pinterest could be quite good because clothing's quite visual, right? So I immediately thought if you made a little Pinterest board around vintage clothing, but very particular vintage clothing, a certain niche or style. So you got to go down in categories. So it's like 1930s green dresses, and it's just all green dresses.
Yeah. Because
maybe you're going to a green party or a traffic light party or something and need something from that era. Or if Gatsby's out, and there's a immersive theatre right now on in King's Cross around Gatsby, and I thought, okay, if that's a trending thing, maybe you can latch onto that, build a collective around that, and people will come. And at the top, you can have your brand,
right.
And you can sprinkle in your sort of products.
Great advice from Fred, but let's see what KBB expert Sheridan Green has to say when she pays Tamila and Maria a final visit.
Hi ladies, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
How have you been?
Yeah, good. Working on our spring collection.
Okay. So it's been, I guess, a few weeks now since we last caught up in my office.
Yeah.
We sort of had some slightly difficult conversations last time. You've had some time now to probably digest everything I spoke about. What have you come up with after we met in terms of thinking about ways to improve cash flow for the business?
Well, we're thinking of trying out a capsule collection of things that are more something like this.
Beautiful.
That's still funky, that's still got our signature edge,
Yeah.
so to say, and classy, and it doesn't take as long and it will be cheaper than, say, a couture piece.
Okay,
Yeah.
Awesome. So what other things are in the collection?
Oh, and we're also thinking of children's clothing.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So we've got a few sets.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's a little tie-up with a little tulle skirt, and we've got that in pink and blue.
I've got a 4-year-old, Annalise. She would love this. What sort of price point are you looking at for these?
The sets would be around like 250, I think we were thinking.
Okay.
And they're like light cottons and things that It doesn't take as long to make, but it's still like the good quality.
And where will you be selling this collection?
We're going to do it on our website and a few marketplaces and see how we go.
How will you market this?
I think we'll try maybe Instagram shopping and maybe do like reels and stuff, and because that'll be the younger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's really good. I am so glad to hear, and I'm really thrilled to hear that you've taken on board, what we spoke about in our last couple of meetings.
Thank you.
After the break, we find out how NFTs are shaking up the e-commerce and investment landscape. Hi, I'm here at Qantas HQ in Sydney with Sally Tober, Managing Director of XPO Brands. You're a Qantas frequent flyer, business rewards customer. Why?
Gosh, I've always been a bit of a loyalist, and being a member of Qantas Business Rewards for us is really no different. It just takes the pleasure, or as some people think, pain of flying, and turns it into a real commercial benefit and adds that little bit extra enjoyment.
So what are the perks of being a Business Rewards member?
For us, we use it for mostly the discounts on the international and domestic flights. We also use it to benefit our team with Qantas Club memberships, and I think the benefit really is those points accumulation.
So how important is travel for your business?
Pre-COVID, we pretty much lived in the air. I think Qantas business lounges were my second office. And so as soon as those borders reopened, we were really quick to get back on a plane straight to Melbourne. In fact, I think we were quite literally the first flight out. And I think for us, it was just about reconnecting with our staff, making sure that they felt that they had a relationship that extended beyond a Zoom screen, and the same kind of applied for our clients.
And how do you use your Business Rewards points?
Oh, listen, most of our team are pretty young and they do love to travel. So really we take those points and we use Business Rewards to help fund our Expo Travels program, giving people business upgrades when they fly for work, and it's things like that that make you feel really good about choosing a program.
And builds loyalty, doesn't it? And
It
good for your
does.
culture.
Yeah, it is, and it makes you feel good about doing something for them, and I couldn't have done that without Qantas Business Rewards.
Sally, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So what are you waiting for? Join up now, Qantas Business Rewards. Welcome back to KBB. Well, according to Forbes, non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, are defined as a digital asset that represent real-world objects like art, music, in-game items and videos. Once considered a passing fad, let me tell you, NFTs have hit the big time, with new research from blockchain analytics company Chainalysis finding users have sent more than $44.2 billion of cryptocurrency through NFT marketplaces in the past 12 months. That's compared to just 106 million in 2020. Meanwhile, Statistica's Digital Economy Compass 2022 reveals NFTs have gained significant traction across the Asia-Pacific region, thanks to the emergence of play-to-earn games and the growing trend of artists showcasing their digital work on social media channels. Now, fashion brands have also taken to NFTs by storm, with couture to streetwear brands snapping up millions in revenue. Fred, how do you think NFTs are going to change the e-commerce world, particularly in the fashion space?
I'm not sure whether immediately there's going to be an instant NFT marketplace for all fashion items. I think there's proof of provenance, so like where something's come from. Some people like to know exactly they've got the one of one of some particular item. Once the digital spaces open up and you've got Sandbox and Decentraland, and people are designing fashion for those characters in those worlds, and Meta's new virtual reality, I think that's potentially where you could have NFTs there, where you own this particular item. A lot of NFTs are about community. Find something that's interesting to you that you might be interested in, and then just buy one of those NFTs and go and join that community. So if you're into gaming, there are obviously gaming places to go and hang out. If you're into particular types of art, you could go and hang out with those communities. And you don't need to buy like a $100,000 one. You can just buy a $25 one or a $100 one.
And with different trends, it's been curious. isn't it? Trying to understand it yourself. As we always say, it's essential as business owners that we stay on top of trends. And another trend that has changed since the pandemic is how we communicate. To highlight some great ways your business can enhance their comms, we have Businesscom's Monica Fry.
Hi, I'm Monica Fry, the Sales Director from Businesscom. We specialise in small business phones and internet, and here are some of my tech tips to future-proofing your office phone system. Cloud office phones are fast becoming the future of telecommunications for businesses of all sizes. One of the key reasons businesses are making the switch to cloud-based phones is because of the flexibility it offers. With the need to quickly adapt to vast changes in the working environment, cloud phones will enable staff to comfortably work remote from anywhere in the world. By using either desk phones or soft phone apps, your team will have the access to all the call handling functionality, as though they were working from the office. When selecting the right system for your business, ensure you have the full suite of features and functions to better assist your team with managing calls and to provide a complete customer experience. Some key essentials to look for include music on hold, voice to email, and a welcome greeting with an IVR menu to direct callers to an appropriate team. With cloud office phones, adding and removing staff is as easy as a click of a button, giving your phones the ability to quickly change as your business grows and ensures you're only paying for what you need. Thanks again for watching. We hope this has helped you with your transition to cloud office phones.
After the break, we join the Australian String Quartet to find out how they make the most of their travels as they bring chamber music to the masses.
I came to work at the Australian String Quartet about 12 years ago, and in the first position here I was in a marketing role, and about a year later I had the opportunity to apply for the CEO role. And it's a real joy for me because I studied here at the University of Adelaide where we're based, and to come back and help take music around the nation is an absolute dream.
I joined the quartet middle of 2020. It's sort of been a job that I'd wanted since I was young, and I remember them coming to my school and I saw them play and I said, that is what I want to do.
We're always asking ourselves the question of how we can make music more accessible for people. And for us, really, I guess the shift in the last few years has been to explore ways that we can take music of the highest calibre to more people by shifting the context.
So we play in bars, galleries, distilleries, libraries, you name it. And I think the audience really enjoys the more casual format. It's a really fun way to listen to music. But we're also doing a lot of digital work, and we're putting a lot of our content online so that people from all over the country and even all over the world can have access to what we're doing, and we can share our love of music.
One of the real joys for me in this role is travelling with the quartet. Later this year, we're off to London to be part of a wonderful series with the Annam Quartet House, which sees us performing a series of concerts in front of the Royal Albert Hall. And we've also got some really wonderful concerts coming up around the country, including our performances with Sydney Dance Company, which will take us to Western Australia, Northern Territory, Queensland and Victoria.
I think it's just so terrific to be travelling again and to be able to take our music around the country. Sometimes when people ask me where I live, I joke to them that I live in the Qantas lounge because we spend so much time in the air. We're flying almost every week, sometimes multiple times a week. And it is just so nice to be able to come to the airport and know that I feel like I'm at home. It's terrific being a Qantas Business Rewards member because in addition to earning points for ourselves, we earn points for our company. And so then the company can use those points to book flights, hotel rooms, to hire cars, and the company benefits. And for a small non-profit arts organisation like us, it's a really incredible privilege and benefit to have that.
I remember particularly an instance where we needed to effectively get the musicians out of Melbourne because of lockdown, and we were able to use our points to hire cars for all of the musicians. And that was a great relief. We certainly hadn't budgeted for that travel, and to have those points was a gift.
What I love about being in the Australian String Quartet is the fact that I get to take my music all over the world, all over Australia and overseas, and I get to share that love of music with people and communities everywhere, and it's a real privilege to make a living doing something that I love.
Be able to go to work every day, do this thing that I fell in love with as a child and share it with people all across the country, not just in cities, but in rural communities and meeting students. That is something you can only hope for in your workplace, so I've lucked out.
After the break, KBB productivity expert Kate Christie is on the clock for lessons from legends. Plus, the ladies at MTTC Australia get some parting advice from Sheridan Green.
Hey, it's Kate Christie from Timestylers. I am the KBB time management expert, and my top 3 tips for productivity in business. Number 1, you need to be aware of what your high value and your low value tasks are. Your high value tasks are the tasks that are core to your role and they're revenue generating. Lower value tasks are the tasks that aren't as essential and importantly, they're cost incurring. Tip number 2. We need to actively manage interruptions. On average, we're interrupted around every 8 minutes, and each time we're interrupted, it can take us up to 23 minutes to return to the task at hand. So have periods of the time where you batch out non-interruption time. Just leave me alone, shut the door, put a sign up that says don't interrupt me, or take yourself somewhere where you can work uninterrupted. And tip number 3, work to your energy. I talk a lot about batching your time, where you are grouping like activities together in your calendar. If you batch out your day in a series of sprints, you're actually going to get way more done.
Now that our KBB expert Sheridan Green and Maria and Tamila from MTT Australia have reached an agreement on how they'll generate a bit more cash flow, let's hear Sheridan's thoughts on what this family business can do to boost their digital marketing efforts.
So ladies, we've spent quite a bit of time together and, you've been very generous to let me into your business and, analyse what's been going on for you. I mean, I just have to ask, what's the number 1 thing that, you've learnt over this period and how are you going to apply that now to your business going forward?
I think we learn a lot, and now we more calculate numbers.
Yeah,
and we're more thinking, we're more organized and less procrastinate and working more harder.
We won't just do what we love, we'll do the hard stuff too.
Yeah, okay.
I think we're just gonna write everything down, and maybe not in a spreadsheet how you would, but just so we know how much time we spend and have a bit of an outline of what we're doing.
It's not even about working harder, I suppose, it's about working smarter.
Yeah.
And, the time and effort you put in, it's, you can continue to do that, and I'm not saying not to do that, but if you want to transform this from a hobby into a true business, you've got to look at the numbers. And I think when we first met as well, you sort of told me your vision for MTTC. Is that still the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd still like to have our own boutique. We've had some invitations for our to show our spring collections in some events overseas.
And have you thought about cash flow and how that will continue?
We'll try the Instagram marketing with the capsule collection and see how that goes.
I think that was sort of the missing piece. You didn't really have a huge amount of marketing previously. And so, yeah, that's great. I look forward to seeing it.
Fred, MTTC has been a fascinating case study because everyone takes pride in what they produce and don't want to compromise on cost. And if you're not prepared to do that, it's all about the revenue side, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, you have a certain cost base and I guess, you can always reduce that. But if you're going to focus on revenue, like find your best customers and see what else they might want. Make sure they're happy. There's always something people are passionate about. They have a problem, they have a need, and that's normally, I think, where good revenue opportunities.
Fred, thank you for your time today. It's been fantastic. Congratulations again on Finder. It is a great Aussie success story. All the best for the future.
Thank you so much.
And remember, if you're looking for small business tips or the latest news and expert advice, then you can find them all online at kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au or follow Kochie's Biz on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta and Twitter. Look, we're taking a couple of weeks off, but we will be back with more great stories from our small business community very soon. So I'll catch you next time.